Welcome, everybody. So, as most of you know, we got Lowe's leaks just a couple of days ago. And from my opinion, their lineup is really meh. They have a lot of really not that great things that I would never see myself picking up. They have a couple mediocre things, but then they also have some good things. And that's really all I have to intro this video. So now let's get into what seems to be the fan favorite so far, their balloon dog clown. Now on to the balloon dog clown. As I just stated about the balloon dog clown, he seems to be the agreed upon fan favorite for Lowe's this year. And I'm going to jump on that bandwagon and say he's also my favorite prop from Lowe's this year. He is an awesome clown. Off the top of my head, he's probably my favorite clown that we've gotten in at least 3 years from any retailer. He has an awesome lunging kind of jump scare. He talks even though it's a puppet jaw. The balloon dog barks, which is really cool, and I don't think we've ever seen a prop with a balloon prop that talks. I mean, we've had Heckles. Actually, now that I think about it, Heckles and him would probably go amazing together. I might have to think about that. But as long as Lowe's doesn't put him at like a $500 price tag, I probably will be getting him this year. But now let's go on to their witch. Now we're on to the Wicked Witch. The sitting scare witch with legs. Yep, that's right. That's all this thing is. It's literally sitting scare witch with legs. I can't fully prove it because we don't have any videos yet. But if you put these two pictures side by side, you could see the one her head is up and the one her head is down. I think she's just another sitting scarecrow mech, but on a standing creature this time with posable arms. But that's all I have to say about it. It's not that great. It could have been released in 2017, and nobody would have even cared then. But that's all I have to say. Now let's go on to their disappointment of the year, the 12-foot vampire. Well, I eventually had to talk about it, so might as well get it over now. This is the 12-foot vampire, which is, in my opinion, Lowe's biggest disappointment for this year. Lowe's has been on top of the 12-foot game, Lowe's and Techie, the past 2 years. In 2024 and 2023, they released two of my favorite 12-footers to date. This year, we have this thing. I hate it. I don't know why. I guess I prefer exaggerated vampires, but this one's too plain for me. I hate it. I could not ever see myself in a million years picking this thing up. It sucks. When I seen the prototype picture, I was like, oh, it's just a prototype. They'll probably improve it, right? Nope. They barely did anything to it, if they changed it at all. Well, I kind of don't want to talk about this thing anymore, so now let's go on to all their little static things for this year. Now I'm going to kind of speed through all these things here. For starters, they're all kind of meh. The skeleton kind of looks like the background to like a witchy scene. I don't really know where to put him. He kind of looks like a butler. I don't really know what theme he fits into, so that's why I don't really like him. The spider has 3 body segments. What is up with them giving spiders 3 body segments? It looks like an ant. It looks like a giant ant. And the groundbreaker little skull, it's pretty cool. It has some cool details on it. The purple lights are cool, but that's pretty much it. So now let's get on to the next thing. Now this time I'm just going to be covering everything in this picture. I'm going to start with the worst stuff and work my way up to the good stuff. So starting with the worst thing, we have the 2 little twins. As seen in the video, these 2 twins look like they just turn their heads, maybe whisper a couple things to each other, and then just turn back and then stop talking. They kind of suck. They're very basic, and they kind of remind me of those 2 Home Depot things that they've been selling for like 8 years. So I'm not very pleased with them. Also, going on to the other doll in the picture, it also kind of sucks. It looks like it just moves its arms maybe and turns its head and talks, and that's kind of basic. I don't think we need anything else of that. Any more of those basic things in 2025. But now we're getting into kind of the good stuff with the Mrs. Plague Doctor. I think she's a static because in the video she doesn't do anything. But she is kind of a cool accessory to the Plague Doctor. Also a cool accessory, if you have the Home Depot Plague Doctor, would be I don't even know what to call him. A doctor, just a doctor. A zombie doctor. He pops up as in the video you guys are watching on repeat. You could see he pops up and then it's a jump scare. And I guess that's pretty cool. I mean, it's kind of a basic jump scare. It's not anything crazy high. It doesn't pop up anything crazy high, but it's definitely startling. And then finally, we have a Peekaboo Penny reskin, which is not something anybody expected to see. It's actually kind of cool. Peekaboo Penny is a prop from, I don't remember the year, I just blanked on it. I think it was like 2014, earlier 2010s, I know. And it's just that the head will pop up from behind the hands, and it's going to scare a lot of people, and it's pretty cool. And it's a clown, so that makes it kind of cool too. But that's pretty much everything in the picture. I really like the Peekaboo Penny reskin. It just depends on how good all the other lineups are, but if I have enough money, I might get that thing. Otherwise, everything else is kind of... The doctor thing is pretty cool, and all the other guys are just iffy, and they're meh. Now for the Bell Ringing Reaper. At least that's what I'm going to call him. This guy is pretty cool. He's very underrated. I don't really see people talking about him. He has a very unique animation that I don't think ever has been used in retail before. It's very violent, so it's kind of scary to see. The only thing I have to say about him is his animation is incredibly basic. I mean, not animation, I'm sorry. His design is incredibly basic and could be way better. It is the most basic ghost skeleton you'll ever see. His eyes light up blue, which is like every ghost that has light up eyes. It's always blue. I don't know why. But that's pretty much it with him. He's an alright prop. He's pretty good. But if he's more than like $150, I'd say that's probably overpriced for him. Alright, now let's get into the Haunted Mansion's Hitchhiking Ghosts. And now it's time for the Hitchhiking Ghosts. And oh boy, did Lowe's do them dirty. They are not accurate at all. The looks are so good. They made them... Jemmy did so good compared to how they did on all the other Haunted Mansion stuff. But why did they have to make them so short? The Hitchhiking Ghosts are not 2 feet tall. I don't know what went through their heads when they were like, let's make the shortest animatronics for the Haunted Mansion. They made everything else life size. So when you put these guys next to it, they look like they're like tabletops compared to all the other Haunted Mansion stuff. It's really bad. They're not that great. I was so excited for them, and they kind of disappointed me. But that's all I got to say for them. On the topic of Disney, real quick, I'm going to go over what I believe to be a dancing Mickey. I think he's dancing because when you put these two pictures side by side, you can see his arms look like they move and his head or his body turn side to side, which would be pretty cool. But since we don't have a video, I can't really form an opinion on him besides to say he looks really good. He looks like Home Depot's Mickey, and usually Lowe's doesn't do that good, which is a hint at what I'm going to go over next. They're Victor and Emily. But now, as I said that, let's get into their Victor and Emily. And now for their Victor and Emily. And I'm going to kind of speed through this and say that they just kind of suck. Emily looks the worst. She does not look accurate at all. And Victor, he just looks fine. But seriously, just get the Spirit Halloween versions. They look so much better. And if I know Lowe's, they're going to be the same price tag or not more expensive. So, honestly, for these, just get the Spirit Halloween ones. But that's all I have to say about it. Overall, these two are pretty bad props. They would be better if we didn't already have the better version from Spirit Halloween. But now let's get into... Now, the Swaying Scarecrow is definitely an interesting one because I don't think his animation really fits him. I mean, he has a swaying animation, as you guys can see in the little clip of the video I'm showing you. But for a scarecrow on a stake, that doesn't make much sense. I think he would be better as a static with a moving mouth and maybe animate the crow. I think people would like that a lot more than the swaying scarecrow that we have. But the design is awesome. That's the only reason I'm going to say he's a good prop and he gets a pass is because of his design. It's amazing. But that's pretty much all I have to say about him. Now let's get into. Now this werewolf is slightly a disappointment for me because when I seen a description of the movement it was going to have, I thought for sure it was going to be a reskin of the cool Big Lots wolf we got last year. But it's not. Instead it moves slower like Mr. Howell does, but it has more animation than Mr. Howell. And like I said, it's very slow. I'm playing the video on 1x speed so you could see. And the design is not that good. It's kind of a basic werewolf design, so it doesn't have that going for it either. So overall, it's kind of a disappointment, but it's still a mid prop. It's not bad, but it's more of a background prop than it would be center of attention like the Big Lots wolf. But now, with that, let's get into. Well, I guess we really can't escape the Gravedigger dilemma. It seems like there's a Gravedigger almost every year since like 2020. In 2020, Home Depot got us that original Gravedigger. Then in 2023, Home Depot brought another Gravedigger. Then they re-released it in 2024. Then Morse Costumes got us that Gravedigger last year. And now Lowe's is giving us a Gravedigger this year. So I think you guys can already know my opinions on it. All it looks like it does is talk, so it doesn't have any cool animation either. So it's kind of just another SVI Gravedigger that can go kind of in the dumpster or in the background. It's not that cool. We're sick of Gravediggers. I don't know why they keep doing them. So it's overall, it's a okay prop. Would have been cooler if it was released in like 2019. But now let's get into the last thing, the Stirring Cauldron Witch. Now, I don't really have anything to say about this Cauldron Witch here. I mean, it's pretty obvious that it looks like just a Cauldron Creep reskin. And it's obvious that it's just going to stir the pot. The pot will probably fog, and it'll talk, and the eyes will light up. But, I mean, it's kind of a basic prop. People have been making it at home for years. So that's all I really have to say about it. And now I just want to say thank you all so much for watching. I'm sorry if the video is a little weirder than usual. I only had a couple pictures to go off of and some videos for some of the props. And I'm sorry if this was your picture and I didn't credit you, but I don't know, these pictures have been all over. I don't know who the original person who shared them are. So, that's about it. But otherwise, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.